Hi and welcome to my PlayHouse, and today I've had a request in the comments down here, not on this video but one of my previous videos, and the request was if I could do a baby step of why to use VMware or virtualization. It doesn't really matter if it's VMware or if it's Microsoft hypervisor or if it's the Citrix Zen hypervisor, or there's a bunch of free hypervisors as well, open source projects and stuff like that. I use VMware myself, but why use that? So I made this little scenario. Imagine this: you are the creator of two new products. These are like, this is a thermal drinking cup and it looks like a camera lens, and it comes with this. Well, all the stairs work anyway. One of the things to keep things warm, put your coffee in there. You made those, and sales are going really well. All the friends you have, they want one of these. So there is the opportunity to start a company, and every company starts on a laptop. You start by using your laptop, you sell this product wherever you can. If it's successful, you have to expand. So when you're expanding your company, you will need a server. So we are gonna get you a server. You're gonna get a server. Let's just pick one over here. We're gonna take number 5 is our first server. So what do? We go out and we get an operating system. This is, let's just say this is back in 2006. So you get the, at that time, present operating system, and that's Microsoft Windows Server 2003, release number 2. So we installed that. Installed. So why do you need a server? Well, you actually need a server because you have some files that you need to have on that server. So it's a file server. If you have any workers, they will need some stuff too. So what else will you install on that server? You will install print services. So we're gonna install print services on that one too. And they're gonna be needing a mail server as well to maintain calendars and emails and keeping them just a little bit private, you know. Back in 2006, Google Mail and Hotmail and stuff like that was not that common in companies. So we have a server here, and it's right now it's running 3 applications, but things are looking good. And you run into some trouble. You're selling your products on eBay, and sometimes eBay changes something and you have to do all your things over again. So you really need your own web server. So, well, it can handle that as well. So, web server. It's getting a bit crowded now, but not long after that, you want to do something else with this. You have a web server, but now you want customers to be able to write into your directory and get in line, and you go out and you buy an application that is able to run on your web server, and it doesn't really run very well on the same server, so you actually have to go out and get another server. Let's just take number 4 here. So you have 2 web servers now. One is running on one computer and one server, and one is running on another. And not long after that, well, we're now in 2008, and this amazing new web service just came up, and it only runs in 2008. Do you want to upgrade this one? Well, it's running all your core services, right? This one, well, that's not ready for 2008 yet. Sometimes next year, they say. So, number 3 server, running another application right there. But it's just not enough. Now you have like a staff, you know, and 10, 15 people, and it's getting hard to communicate with them. You can't put all information on the web, and you can't put it in mails, or you are doing it right now, but well, it would be really nice with an intranet, like a network that only the workers and staff could see. So well, we can put this on this one, but if we get hacked, they get access to all our information on the intranet or intranet, as well as the external data. So we'll probably have to put it up here, and it can run. Let's just put it here. There, it's safe. Yeah. We really have to do something about those. That this one server is running all of our core infrastructure. It would be really beneficial if we could move DNS and DHCP out of there. There went our Windows. It just crashed. Crap. So now it's even more important to have these up and running on different systems. We could put them on the same system, or in big companies that are put on separate servers. Let's just say this is still a bit smaller company, so they can run on the same server. There. Now we have a server up here that's running our infrastructure, like giving out IP numbers and yeah, IP numbers service, IP service. So yeah, this is about where we get our first virus. Let's just say it's some cryptoware. It just encrypted our file system. Where is our file system is on the main server. Damn. So let's just say this is a virus scan server. Let's put it over here. We go out and we buy a new server just to scan viruses. And let's just take our file server. Here, our file server. We don't really want that on the same system where everything else is, if we should get compromised again. So we're gonna put this over here, a dedicated file server. It's a good idea. So now we have a virus scanner and we have a file server, and maybe just to be safe, we need a server to take backup of the other servers. So well, yeah, and this runs Windows 2000 Server 2008. So, well, we are running out of servers here. I think we can install it on this one. So now we have a server that can take backup, and it's not supposed to put the backup on the same file server as the data, so we'll probably have to have another file system. So yeah, 10-15 people. We also need a system for our economy system, like to pay out wages and yeah, keep track of that stuff. So we need a server for that. This system takes care of our incoming money and outgoing money and stuff like that. We really don't want that to be on any server that even our workers or staff can see. Only a few people needs to use this system, so we don't want anybody snooping around. That will just be this one. So yeah, this is about the time where we get our first dedicated applications too. You need an application for this and an application for that. We might have a new program, new products coming out. Now they're with building coolers or stuff like that, and we need to do some 3D graphics and rendering. So an application server would really be nice, right? So that's another one right there. Our IT guy is getting into trouble when he's trying to upgrade all of this, and he really needs a test server, because last time he was upgrading the mail system, let's just say we weren't that happy a couple of days, so he wants a test server, and it's probably a good idea to give it to him. Test server, and yeah, he also needs a server to be able to upgrade the we have a bunch of servers now. What are we up to? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 servers. and it takes a long time to upgrade with Windows firmware and all of those. So we want a Vsauce server so that that server can upgrade the other servers with Microsoft patches. So let's put that in somewhere. We could probably run it with one of the others. Yeah, we don't want to put it on the test server because that is testing, and yeah. So let's put it over Vsauce and viruses. That's about the same thing, even though the McAfee server or what else we are running have to be upgraded from time to time. This is about the time where the IT guy is using about 10 hours a day to keep up with 100 staff, print jobs and upgrading servers and stuff like that. So he's actually asking if he can do it from home. And some of the other guys want to work from home as well. So we need a VPN connection to be able to access all the good stuff in the company from outside. This could be a router, but it can also be a server. So let's put it on another server. If we have anything, we can still see down here. We have a VPN server, and yeah. So now the IT guy is becoming a lot smarter. So now it's time to have a VMware server. So we're gonna install VMware on one of these systems and see how many of the servers we can move over on VMware. Let's just say that we are taking the test server down. We're uninstalling test, and we install VMware on this host. A VMware server is called a host. The physical server is a host, and you install VMware on that. It's like a shell VMware or hypervisor, a piece of program that is in the bottom of the server, and you can install other things on top of that. So we can easily install our test server over here. And we can install that on server 2012, 2008, Linux, what the fuck. Let's just take our print services. Let's just take our print services and move the print server down here. It's not gonna take up much space. And we can take the mail server. We can install a mail server here as well. And the good thing about all of these servers, they're not interrupting each other. We can install a 2003 or 2008 or 2012 for each of the systems that we install here. So we will also have the DHCP server moved over to VMware, the DNS server, VMware, the intranet, VMware, web server, VMware, web server 2, VMware, web, the first one, VMware, and VPN connection, VMware, applications. There can be multiple applications. At the company where I work, we have 2,000 applications. They don't need a server each. VMware backup server, VMware Vsauce, VMware viruses, VMware, oh, it's not a virus, it's McAfee or some other virus scanner that is running on a server scanning the system for viruses. VMware, the economy system, also VMware. So now we don't really need all the other servers. The one that we probably still need is the file server. It's very normal to not have that many disks in a VMware server. You can have a VMware server with a lot of disks. It would be good to have some dedicated file system instead of having it all in VMware. So from that huge amount of different servers, we are now down to one server. The way this works is that VMware is in the bottom of the server, and you're able to install your operating system on top of that. So you can easily have like 100 servers on a VMware host if there's just processing power and memory enough. I have installed a lot of VMware servers. All my servers here are running VMware. It's not because I'm running a lot of different stuff. I'm actually running a lot of similar stuff. There's a lot of benefits of having every server as a virtual server. For example, all the servers that we have here, they can move to another server. We'll just get another server here, and we will also install VMware on that. And then we can take all of these servers and just move them there. Like that. It's almost this easy. We don't have to reinstall anything. We don't even have to down the systems. They can be running while we move them. While moving a virtual machine like that, you normally, if you know how to ping a server, the normal downtime is about 1 ping. So it's about half a second or something that they're not accessible. So there is huge benefits of having your system on VMware or a virtual or another virtualization software. We just saved like 15 servers, so this VMware must be damn expensive, right? Nope, it's actually free. The core system in VMware is free. If you want a lot of the really nice benefits, you have to pay. But all the things that we just did here, except the moving them from one host to another host without any downtime, that's not possible with the free edition of VMware. But installing all the servers and having them run on one system, like 15-20 machines, no problem. You can run a VMware with 2 CPUs and some amount of memory, but it's rather a lot. So how do you get this? VMware has a homepage, vmware.com. You go and you download the hypervisor. It's about 350 megabytes. I said megabytes, not gigabytes, megabytes, the small ones. You can actually have it on a CD. Yeah, I'm that old. Here's a VMware. It's installed on a USB stick. I can boot the server and run VMware from this. I can install all of these servers on top of the VMware that is on the USB stick. That is kind of cool. VMware runs on top of a Linux, and before you get afraid that you have to write down Linux code and recompile the kernel every second week, no. Next, finish. It's so easy. All you really need to ensure is that you have some compatible hardware. VMware is a bit touchy on the hardware. All my servers here, they're VMware compatible. These are IBM Lenovo servers. I have a HP server too, like Black Sheep down here, but it's also VMware compatible. You might run into some problems if you get some kind of motherboard and computers you mix yourself. As soon as some company wants to sell a machine as a server, it will usually be compatible with VMware. But check it before you go out and buy expensive hardware. Make sure that it runs on VMware if you want to do this. If you have some hardware that can run VMware, what you do is actually you download the VMware and you make I always make a bootable USB stick. Or on these systems where there is a management adapter, I can boot the server from an ISO file on my computer and it will boot and install, and I can manage it from there. Let's just go into the computer and see how easy this really is. Here I am at the computer, and let's imagine we just got our new server and we want to install VMware on it. So we go to vmware.com, and the first thing, choose a country, and my country is not here. I'm from Denmark and they have not chosen to put us on the list, so doing this is in English, so we're just gonna take United Kingdom. There we are. And we are presented with the VMware homepage. So we want to download, and we want to download a hypervisor, and it's called ESXi. That's a hypervisor with nothing underneath it. They also have some hypervisors for your desktop and to put on top of a Microsoft server, or at least they have had. I'm not sure if they have that anymore, but ESXi is the one to get. So we press that, and here is the hypervisor that they want us to have. It's the VMware Hypervisor 6.0 Download Center, and we should get that
But before we can download a hypervisor, they want to know who we are. So if you're new at this, you have to go over here and create an account. I already have an account, so I can log in with my account, and I'll just do that. So this is what it looks like when you have created an account and log in to get your hypervisor or the ESXi. I have just opened a little window down here to hide my license key. You get a free license key. You just have to register it and you get a free license key, and it lasts forever. I just don't want everybody to use mine. I have no idea if that would be bad for me. A bit further down on the same page here, we have what we're here to get. This is the version that I would want to get right now. This is the newest edition, and it's an ESXi ISO file. I usually always download this. That's the way I install it, and I would really recommend that way of installing it. You download the ISO file and you create a bootable media, or you use the management adapter in the server to present this ISO file to the server. So let's click download and get this file. Here it is. I can see that I have already downloaded this edition. It's right there. So I do not need to download it again. The software to make it into a bootable ISO file is this Rufus file. Rufus. If you search for Rufus, you will get it, and that's also a free product. So download that and download the Rufus, and you're good to go. I will do a video on installing this with all the explanation. What happens when you have installed it? When you have installed and configured the physical server with the VMware hypervisor, and you put in the IP numbers that you want it to have, VMware needs its own IP number. All the servers that you install on the VMware host, they can have all kinds of other IP numbers, but the VMware host itself, it needs an IP number for itself. And if you press this into a browser, you get this page. And what you really need here is to download Vsphere client for Windows. That's the one you want to get. If you're brand new to this, you want to get that one. There is some other options here, but for the very first time, you want to get this one. And it's just downloadable, and it's not that big. But it's about 300 megabytes as well, I guess, maybe. When you downloaded that, you install it, and you get an icon like this. This is the program, and to install it, it's more or less just next, finish. It might be complaining about some components you don't have on your computer, but it will install them for you. And then you can open your server. This is a brand new server that I have installed. There is absolutely nothing on it, but it's a VMware host, and there is some things we can see here. We can see the virtual machines. There is none right now. There is resources that is allocated, and the virtual machines would be down here, and it would be saying how much processor this one is using and how much memory and stuff like that. It's everything we can see here. We can see how the VMware host is performing, and we can see I just turned it on before I started filming, so it's not doing anything. The VMware virtualization software by itself, it really don't stresses the server very much. We can see it out here on the summary. It's using about 71 megahertz out of the 8 times 2.4 gigahertz. So it's nothing. It's using a bit of RAM, 1.5 gigabytes of RAM. It's using and this just jumped. How rude. But it's still nothing. And it has an onboard storage. This one has, it's a blade server that we're on right here, but it could be any kind of server, and the data store here is the onboard storage device. It has one single hard drive, and out of that hard drive there is just about 60 gigabytes available for virtual machines. it's an old hard drive. Nowadays you would put in something with terabytes on it. So let's go further. The performance is here. See what the host is doing right now, because it's not doing anything. You can configure all kind of stuff. You can see what processor there is. There's the memory, some voltage. You can see how much power it draws, 130 watts. There's a lot of nice information here, and this is fresh right out of the box. You get this for free. I must say that this is actually the evaluation. When you download VMware, you get 60 days of free evaluation. So you can play around with it, and you get all the features. All of these features for 60 days. At some point when the 60 days run out, you'll have to punch in your free license code. I'll just do that, and we can see what's left after we do this. These are all the virtualization options that we can buy. We get a free trial of those for 60 days. So I've changed the licensing down to the free forever to use. The one we were seeing was evaluation mode, and that would only be available. For 60 days, and then it would run out. But we can still see pretty much all that we need to see. There is still our storage here. There's some network groups, virtual machines. We still don't have any, and we have some resources, performance. We can still see what the server is doing. Configuration, we're gonna jump over that one. We can have users in here. You can configure who's allowed to log into the VMware server and who can do what. Are you allowed to turn on and off virtual machines and stuff like that. The event thing is here. Licensing downgrade, yes. All of the features are listed here. Remove blah 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 blah. Remove the following features and blah 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 blah. A lot of that. The features that are left is we are able to have a server with 2 CPUs, and we can make virtual machines up to 8 virtual CPUs. You will usually not need anything bigger than that. If you get up to virtual machines that are bigger than that, you will probably also need some of the features that you actually have to buy. And there is some permissions to the people. And there's not much. There is some system log and some inventory, so it's very simple and very sketchy. In here on the configuration, I am just hiding my license key again, but we can see here the hypervisor and the license for 2 physical CPUs, unlimited cores per CPU. So if we go buy a really fast server with like 18 cores per CPU and hyperthreading, we can actually get 72 virtual CPUs. And down here is the up to 8 ways virtual SMP, and that means that you can have 8 virtual CPUs in your systems. We still get all the health status in here, all the temperature, all the good stuff. Memory, processor, storage, network. It has a built-in network switch, so all the virtual machines will be connected to this switch, and they can have a connection out into the world through a virtual switch that is in the system. I'll just show you what that looks like, although it's a bit bigger. But over here, let's just check that, and networking. Here is a virtual switch. There's one network connection out, and this is the virtual machines that are connected to the switch. Only 2 of them are on at the moment, and there is some management network as well. And just to see something even bigger, I have this one. and there is actually two switches. There's a standard switch down here, and there's a oh, that's also just a standard switch. Okay. But here is our little server. Here is our VMware host, and it's not really that funny before we get some machines onto it. I'm gonna be doing the next video on how to start that up, but I'm just gonna give you a peek, and it's really just to right click and choose new virtual machine. And it comes and asks us, what do we want to do? We want, let's just say, let's do the typical server. Let's just say this is a 40 HTTP. That's a 2012 server. Next, we can put it on our data store. Next, this is a Windows server, and I just said it was 2012, so that one. And the list is long. This is Windows systems. What this list really is that if you choose one of these Windows servers, it knows what kind of hardware to present to the virtual machine. It knows just about how much RAM it needs, how much processors, what kind of storage adapter and network card to present. And if we go into Linux, there's another even larger list, and other, there's some Macintosh OSs, there's some FreeBSD, there is IBM OS 2 that's not really used anymore. Terminated, okay. There's Sun Solaris. You can even run other versions of ESXi on top of ESXi. And that's great for doing video work like this. If you don't really have the physical servers, you can do that. Also, you can do testing. You can actually test having another VMware server. Pretty cool. Windows, back to Windows. There we are. And 2012. Next. And here we get some options for network cards. First, we can choose how many network cards we want. It goes up to 4 apparently. We can choose the network. I only have one, and that's the one switch. Can I move this? The one switch that I have here, that has a name, and it's called VM Network, and that's the name that is right here. I have the option of choosing some different network cards. E1000 is a very basic 1 gigabit network card. Then there is the E1000E, that's a newer one, still very basic. And then there's the VM-XNet 3. That's a network card that is optimized for VMware. You might run into some problems if you choose a network card like this. Server 2012 might not have the drivers for that network card, and you can get into a bit of problems. So very often just go with the network card it suggests. It can be changed afterwards without any problem whatsoever. Next, how much hard disk space do we need? It recommends 40 gigabytes, probably true. VMware is able to share the hard drive. If this machine that I am installing actually installs on 10 gigabytes, I can still give it 40 gigabytes, and I can still install 5 other machines on the same little amount of space here. They won't be able to get their 40 gigabytes each, but they will be up and running, and I can go get some more hard drive space. If I choose this thin provisioning, that means they will share the hard disk space. Next, and it's about finish. I can go in and edit some hardware. I'm gonna do that. And next, VMware presents the virtual servers with specific hardware. This means that when I have installed a virtual server, I can actually move that virtual server over to another host with some completely different hardware, and it will run just fine. You can change the virtual server from an AMD server to an Intel server, and it will still run. But what we need in here is actually to tell it what to install. Just because we have configured the virtual machine doesn't mean that we have the operating system. VMware ESXi does not come with the operating systems installed. We need to go down to the CD-ROM drive here and tell it where it can find the operating system. We have three options over here for device. We can use the client device. I am on the client device. This is my local machine. So if it's here, it can see the CD-ROM drive in the machine that I'm on. We can choose the host device. Then it will choose the CD-ROM drive in the physical server. And then we can use the data store to find an ISO file. The data store is on the ESXi host. This means that I can transfer ISO files to the host itself, and they can be on the server, and I can just pick them up there. We will just see that. Over here on the summary, we have the data store. I can right click on that and browse data store. And right now there is almost nothing here. I didn't complete the installation of that server. That was stupid. But I can actually take an ISO file and upload it to here and choose that ISO file for the virtual machine to boot on. We're gonna be doing that in the next video and show you how to install more servers into one physical machine. And just to show you what that looks like, I have a server here. It's another server. It's on a bigger setup, but there is virtual machines running on this, and there is some not running. That's another benefit. You can have servers standing by. And if I go over here and see the storage, I can right click on the data store and I can see the different servers here. And this is a server, and it's just one folder, and that contains 4 files. And this is an entire web server running here. Actually, it's not running, it's off. But 4 files, and these 4 files can easily be copied out to a USB disk or a USB stick, or transferred through the internet, and I can boot them on another VMware server far away.
Yeah, that was the first video on why VMware or hypervising software is smart. Do check out the comments below, ask your question, or see what other people are asking and what other people answer. And if you're already a virtualization expert and using it, look in the comments and see if there's some good questions that you might have the answer for. Thank you for watching my videos. Do subscribe to my channel so that you can see me again, and have a really nice day. Bye bye.